Hello and welcome to Mini Maths at Virtual School Victoria, where we do a lot of maths thinking in a little bit of time. We've just had Easter, so today's topic is about mathematics in our everyday lives. This page comes from a newspaper. Check out all the fantastic maths that we see. There are the mathematical symbols, there's a decimal point, there's a percentage, there's the numbers, and of course each of these are mathematical problems. And the first thing I thought when I looked at that, I had a lot of questions. For example, 7,000 tonnes, that seemed like such a big number. And then I was very curious about these eggs, and I think these ones here might be 50-gram hollow eggs, and I think these might be solid eggs, but I don't know how many grams they would be. Anyway, there's a lot of great mathematical stuff associated with this graphic. Some of the questions our students came up with was, what does 7,000 tonnes mean? What is 1 tonne? And if a standard Easter egg is about 50 grams, how many eggs will make 7,000 tonnes? That's a lot of eggs. When we solve problems, we start with what we know. So the information we know here is that we have 7,000 tonnes to work with, and we have 50-gram Easter eggs, and that's our starting point. Then we have to ask questions. What is a kilogram? How many 50-gram eggs would fit into a kilogram? 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, because kilo is a Greek word for 1,000. Every time we see kilo, we multiply by 1,000. So a kilogram is 1,000. Anything with a kilo in front of it is 1,000. So we've worked out here that two ways of doing it. We've got 1,000 grams, and if we divide it by 50-gram eggs, we have 20 eggs in a kilo. And we can do estimation. So there's lots of different ways to do that. Now, we have to think about how many 50-gram eggs would make 1 tonne, and 20 eggs, which is in a kilogram, times 1,000 kilograms will give us 20,000 eggs in 1 tonne. And then we have got to multiply that by 7, because 20,000 eggs are a tonne, and 7 times that for 7 tonnes is 140,000 eggs. Now, that is quite a lot of eggs for anybody. Let's look at some other maths. We talked about percentages, because percentages are interesting. Can you see this sign here? If you really visualize it, they're like 100. So a percent is out of every 100. Now for today, we're going to round up 23% to 25. So we're rounding it up a little bit, which means we're estimating. So how do we work with 25%? What does 25% mean? 25% means 25 out of every 100. And we can break that down to 1 quarter, or 1 out of every 4. Now the students in the class today had some really good strategies for doing that, and it was very good. Now here, 4 in 5 is another mathematical term. Well, 4 in 5 is the same as 4/5. If we multiply the numerator by 10 and the denominator by 10, we get 40/50ths. If we double 40/50ths, we get 80/100ths. So 80 out of every 100 is 80%. So 80% is a lot. So those are some connected ideas. Now, this was quite interesting today too. How do you eat your bunny? Now, we took the quiz and we found that 70% of the students who attended today's online class preferred to eat the ears first. So when we compare the newspaper survey with the survey of Virtual School Victoria students, the results are very similar in different population samples, and most people prefer to eat the ears first. Now, what else is there? So there's a lot of other things that we didn't talk about, like 3.6 million. What does the point mean? What does 200 plus means? But we had a very good discussion. These were the ideas that we worked with. We identified mathematical ideas in the real world. We found out a little bit about what a ton was. We used some strategies to solve a big problem. We rounded and estimated percentages. We learned that 25% is the same as 25 out of every 100 or for every 100. We learned that 25% is another way of saying a quarter. And the best part was comparing our results from our Easter chocolate survey about how we eat Easter bunnies. Thank you for your attention and enjoy finding maths in your everyday world. Thank you.